the next one, it's more definitive. If these 5 teams don't make the playoffs, it kind of equals problems. Whether that means changes in staff in terms of coaching or just criticism from their fan base. Like their fans expect them to make the playoffs. Let's take a look at it. Number 14, the Falcons. Number 13, the Jets. Number 12, the Rams. Number 11, the Cowboys. And how about the Dolphins sneaking in the top 10 here? But I was a little harsh and decided to cut the tier line right there. I wasn't going to put them in the tier above, even though the numbers kind of said I should have. So that's where you can just put your finger on the scale if you host the freaking show, Cynthia.
I like it. The Dolphins, to me, a lot of that comes down to injuries.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and look, I'm not going to be popular for saying this, but do we really think the Cowboys are that good?
We had them 11th.
Of course, all Cowboys fans expect them to go.
They've won 12 games in the last 2 years, so they have a great quarterback.
Yes.
And they have
CD.
To me, the best defensive player in the world, if I had to choose one.
Agreed.
So,
but I'm really worried about their O-line and Ezekiel Elliott forecast to be their starting running back. I'm just saying, like, I'm just a little like that one's a little high for me.
Okay.
But they get to play in the East.
I mean,
they get to play in the East. So
I'm pushing back on you, and yet when it comes to predictions, like I might just have them out of the playoffs because I feel like I need to have a few teams in and out, and I'm not picking them to win the division.
Right.
So, like, there's a chance there that it falls apart a little. But power rankings wise, when you just look at experience, coaching staff, the roster that they have, I'm even feeling a little better about these rookie offensive linemen. What stands out to you out of that group, Patrick?
It's the Dolphins. I have the Dolphins significantly higher than that. I understand that there's been.
Oh, you were the one that did it. So you had Dolphins 6th.
Yeah, I had
you were the one that did it.
It's me.
Cynthia had him 9th.
I had him high too.
And I had him 12th. So
I have him high too. It's just all about injuries.
Okay, 6th. That's awesome. Like, why? Just.
I think time together, continuity was the biggest part of the way that I put my list together. Ultimately, you've seen the Chiefs win back-to-back Super Bowls. They've been able to maintain continuity among key parts of the staff and the team. And I just think the longer you keep a group together, the better the results get as other teams, like some that we'll talk about coming up here, are getting worse. Like, I think there's some title contenders that are actually getting worse. And if those teams are getting worse, then you've got teams that are up and coming that get better. And I think Miami falls into that. But we'll see. We'll see how things go.
A lot of questions, though. Offensive line,
I feel like
defensive line.
Agreed. I think the
defense.
East, of all the divisions, the AFC East comes down to people's availability. There's a lot of injured players on the Bills. There's a lot of injured players on the Dolphins. There's a lot of injured players. Or the Jets maybe don't have people coming that
you
they
have
were
the Jets
hoping
10th, which was higher than Patrick by a good amount. Patrick had him in the middle. I was kind of between you two. And then I noticed you have Bills, Dolphins, Jets 8, 9, 10. So you see those 3 AFC East teams very close.
What happens is when you do projections, when things are close, it gets close to 0.5, right? So I don't have anyone in that division having like 0.6 wins, meaning 60% of the time they win. And you know how finicky the model is. You both do. So I think like it's very volatile, like the stock market the past few weeks. A lot of VIX. The VIX is high here.
Rams, I think, would have gotten a little more pop coming into this season. They're 12th here. Falcons are 14th. If it wasn't for the preseason injuries, just dimming them just a little
injuries,
bit.
It was a totally, like, that number significantly changed.
A lot of these teams to me are boom or bust.
Yep.
Actually, I should have called that the section. Not just no playoffs equals problems. Boom or bust, because Dolphins, Cowboys, Rams, Jets, Falcons, 100%. To me, high ceiling, also could easily miss the playoffs, and that wouldn't shock me. I'm not as high on the Falcons as you guys. I just got to see it. To me, a lot of questions on the defense and even the offense, which has a lot of name value. I got to see it. Although I looked at their schedule, and, man, after their bye, if you were trying to create, and who knows how it's going to work out, but if you were trying to create like the easiest 6 or 7 game slate you possibly could, that's what the Falcons are after their bye.
If the Falcons don't win, that's the biggest no problem. Like if this is it. Like they push.
But here's the thing. That's a new staff, and
but
I know it's a new. It's not.
I
don't
know.
GM,
They're not. People have gotten fired after 1 year before in life. Like
all they got to do is like win 9 games. No one's.
I just think if they don't somehow make the playoffs, it's going to be.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true of the Jets and the Cowboys, certainly of this tier.